We're ranking grandmas. Here's the thing. The overlap between the interests of a 24-year-old white guy and famous elderly women is not very big. There's a very small overlap between those two circles. So most of these women are fictional, because I don't know any real women or anything about them. I know you guys want me to rank the grandmas based on sexability. However, you see why we can't do that. We come to our very first grandma, there's an issue here.
I remember when they first invented chocolate. Sweet, sweet chocolate. I always hated it.
First of all, this woman does not have... Well, actually... Wait a second. I was going to say she doesn't have any... We're not compatible, let's say, but now I'm seeing that we might be more compatible than most people. She has all sorts of facets. I feel like we could do... Guys, you have corrupted me. I said I wasn't going to do it based on how attractive they are, but I've instantly gone into this mindset. She's giving the things. You know what I'm talking about? Wait. Observe. And as a child, I mean, come on. This was up there with like those little jelly hand roll things. You know what I'm talking about? She cannot be an S-tier grandma. Say all you want, but one, her legs don't work. She doesn't even have legs. Why even have a wheelchair? You don't even have legs.
Huh?
She does say chocolate. Should we put her in C for chocolate? I think that's a fair rating. Honestly, this has got to be one of the worst grandmas you've ever seen in almost any regard. Now, you're going to think F is where she belongs, especially if you're on, like, we're doing this based on how attractive they are. You're going to think F is where she belongs, but I'm telling you, you don't know what we got later going on. All right. Next one here. Her name is Dorothy Puente. Death House Landlady. This is her move. This was her MO. Posing as a landlady, Puente procured various elderly and mentally disabled people to stay at the boarding house she ran. Beginning in 1982, she began killing her tenants, typically by poisoning, before burying their bodies around the residence and then cashing their social security checks. So you guys were saying earlier, hey, let's rank all these grandmas based on how attractive they are. What do you say now? You want me to put, because let's be honest, this grandma, I would definitely put her above the chocolate grandma, but she cannot be there. She cannot be there. She's a murderer. She's a killer. And she killed mentally disabled and elderly people. Now, granted, I don't think she had the capacity to kill much more. Look at her. She's like 80 pounds soaking wet. She was tried on 9 first-degree murder charges and only convicted on 3. She died in 2011. F. You guys know this one? Emily Gilmore.
When a woman gives birth to a crack baby, you do not buy her a puppy.
You guys know the Gilmore Girls? Listen, I'm a young lad. I grew up with 2 older sisters. Gilmore Girls was on repeat in my house all the time. I don't know anything about the show. I know one thing. I had a crush on Rory growing up. I know another thing. I also had a crush on Lorelai. I was one of the first people to be pioneering that, mother-daughter thing. And I know one more thing, which is that every time this woman was on screen, I was pissed. I hated her. I don't know. I haven't seen the show recently enough to know if I was justified in hating her, but just look at her. I mean, you're gonna think like, yeah, but she didn't kill anyone. To me, she might as well have. This is an F tier grandma. One of the worst. Unfortunately, again, if we're talking, this is why we have to say, if we're talking on attractiveness, she's probably up here somewhere. But look, we can't. It has to be honest. It has to be truthful to who I am as a person. All right, next one. We have, now come on. Now we're going from the peak hateable grandma of fiction to one of the best. Whoa. Sorry guys. my body just had a reaction.
I don't need to know about that. You keep that to yourself.
Now, I wanted to put Sofia Vergara on the tier list, and I couldn't. She's not a grandma. She has a 33-year-old son, not a grandma. But then I remembered, wait, what do I know Sofia Vergara from? She's in Modern Family. She marries a man who has grandchildren.
Ain't this what you want, the perfect American wife to make your life more convenient?
We're in there, baby. This is not Sofia Vergara. This is Gloria. She's a step grandma. And I'm counting that because she's not the step grandma. She's the grandma that stepped up. Am I right, folks? Can we get a round of applause for the step parents for the mixed households? And for that reason, and that reason alone, don't be getting your mind in the gutter that I want to be putting her in the S tier because she's incredibly gorgeous, and because the moment she popped on my screen, my face started blushing, my cheeks got red. I felt a slight tinge of anxiety, knowing that she was even, like, that there's even, I mean, she's not going to see this, but even a possibility that she could see this. That's not why she's going in the S tier, okay, guys? It's not that when I look at her, my heart sings. It's that I'm aware of the fact that she's the grandma that stepped up. She's S tier. S tier on MILF Street, but she doesn't make the list? Interesting, Tundra. Sorry, guys, my Twitch chat seems to hate mixed families. Now, we're going from one of the most beautiful grandmas ever to, unfortunately, one of the worst. I didn't name these correctly. Must be this one. Whoa. No, this is when I put this is when I put him on stream for you guys to tell me if I look like him. Granny Rags. This is Granny Rags. She's from the first Dishonored game, which was, it's one of my top favorite games of all time. She keeps rats as pets. She can come back to life if you kill her. She's quite she's a horrific woman. Now, she does have a tragic backstory from what I understand. She was like an empress at one point. I don't know, does that do anything for her? Guys, we need some feminists in the chat to speak up for our girl boss. She keeps her makeup tight. She's on fleek. I think I'm hitting B tier with her. She's rude. She's pretty evil. She's disgusting. But she is, she's a hottie in the way that you would, like, you wouldn't never tell anyone, you know? I think so. I stand by it. This is one of my favorite ones that I was happy to bring up here. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this grandma. Have you guys seen King of the Hill? This is Hank Hill's grandma. This is Hank Hill's grandma. Why is she here? Why is she here? As we said, my overlap for grandmas is not very high. So all these grandmas are being seen through the lens of what I know them from. When King of the Hill was coming out, I was a kid. I was a child. This is the moment that this shattered my mind as a child. I didn't know what to make of this. We're talking like 9 years old. If that, like 7.
My mother's robe. As soon as I'm out of sight, he makes her do the laundry.
I'll be honest, I still find this distressing. I can't get past this. There's nothing about this I like. I'm terrified of it. Old women are allowed to have sex. But I think that traumatized me. It's been probably 18 years since I first saw that clip. And I don't think I'll ever be okay with the idea of an old woman being intimate. And it's a character flaw of mine. It's something I should really work on and fix. But I really if you had to ask me, would I rather be a disabled person who gets murdered in a retirement home, or if I would have to experience what Hank Hill did, I would definitely pick the latter. No, the former. Because at least I'd be mentally disabled. So I want to specify very clearly, I am not comfortable with old women acting in a way that is too comfortable with their own sexuality, they're going an F here. Keep in mind what I just said, because this is what fixed that for me, Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, this image alone is enough to put us in S or A range, right? I mean, I'm healed. I'm healed. I'm still, like, I'll be honest, like, I'm kind of fronting right now because I want you guys to think I'm cool. I don't think, I still don't, I'm not really comfortable with this. But, I don't know. Guys, just think I'm cool. I'm putting her in A. Now we're going to argue, from arguably the horniest woman on this list to one of the least horny women on this list. This is Littlefoot's grandma from The Land Before Time. Now, I could not find a single image that had just her. So I think they have her as like an accessory, which is okay with me. Look, you have to, if you were going to give Gloria, Sofia Vergara, S rank for being the grandma who stepped up, this is real. Like, that was kind of facetious, right? This is real. She's like, she was the grandma who stepped up. His mom freaking died 10 minutes into the movie, and they have like 20 seasons of TV where he just lives with his grandparents. What a queen. Queen and king. You see, guys, this is why I cannot rank these people exclusively based on attractiveness. These people are S rank. Now, I'm saying people. I'm assigning a lot of credit to the man as well here. And the reason for that is because they pretty much always appeared next to each other in the show, as I recall it growing up. This is, now, I just realized now as I'm making this, we've created a very interesting dichotomy here. I was roughly watching both of these shows at about 6 years old. And this one taught me the pinnacle of what a grandma should be. And this one taught me what I will never be okay with a grandma being. Interesting stuff. A psychologist could probably watch this video and learn something about me, diagnose me with something. I don't know who this is. I have no idea who this is. What did I label her as in my notes? Makeup grandma. Why did I put this woman in the tier list? Who is the makeup grandma? I think she just kind of freaked me out when I was looking through the images, so I threw her in. She looks like she has sun-dried tomatoes on her face. I'm putting her in C tier. She looks like Tina Fey. This is old Tina Fey with sun-dried tomatoes on her face. Tina Fey at 40 years old. Okay. Now we're getting to, we have a Cloris Leachman double feature here. Cloris Leachman. This is her in Raising Hope. This is her as Mama.
Don't get me started on extra skin. I'm 3 years away from being able to tie my ass in a knot.
We're gonna drop all pretense right now. This is an S rank grandma. We don't have to even talk about it. She's sweet, she's cute. She runs around shirtless. So for the perverts out there, she gives them something. She's Cloris Leachman, which throws her through the roof. She is a registered sex offender in the show. That is true. Yeah, she does make out with her grandson a few times in the show. I think she tries to kill the baby a few times. But she also saves the baby's life a few times. How many grandmas are this free and cool and awesome? I mean, if you know Raising Hope, you know Raising Hope. She's Mama. Tundra says she probably does the best hand stuff. If you'll recall, roughly 30 seconds ago, I said she does things for all the perverts out there. And Tundra proved me right. Thank you very much, Tundra. Let's move on to the second part of our Cloris Leachman double special. This is from Malcolm in the Middle. The polar opposite. She's the opposite woman. No dementia, fully lucid, and is the devil. She's the devil incarnate. Another image burned into my mind as being like a 7-year-old, 6 or 7-year-old watching this show was a scene where she's sleeping and she drops her lit cigarette onto her dress and it burns a hole in her dress and falls inside of her dress. And her grandson has to reach up her skirt to pull it out. I think I almost threw up watching that one as a kid. TV producers like to put grandmas in very erotic situations. What is up with that? Were they targeting me? It's possible. I don't remember this grandma. I feel like I watched Malcolm a lot, and for my lack of memory, I'm going to drop it to F. You just triggered my mind on something else, and we got to drop her lower. She's extremely racist.
Let's just face it, we're stuck with her. Every monster has its weakness. Frankenstein has fire. Dracula the cross. There has to be something that Grandma's afraid of.
So, what would you like me to do for you?
Thank you so much for coming over. I know this is a little weird.
It's the kind of life I want to live. I want to be Hal when I grow up. We've already talked about this, the speed walking and all this. But really what I envy about him more than anything else is that he has 5 close black friends.
Oh, hi, Mom. I'd like you to meet some of our friends. This is Brian, and this is Abe.
Nice to meet you, ma'am. If you'll excuse me, I need to use your toilet. Why, Lois, you make it sound like you're surrounded.
Allow me.
Well, hello. And who is this fine lady? So what you doing later on? 'Cause I like that wagon you dragging.
Once again, TV show putting old women into erotic situations. This is really revealing something about my character. This is not a big deal. It's just, I've got some deeply ingrained issues with this. Guys, don't judge me, okay? We're all learning. It's my first time being human too. And I don't want to have to do this. We're gonna have to drop her down. As Britta Perry once said,
I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty.
You can excuse racism.
So she's only going down to B because I still like her a lot. Up next, we have the Moana grandma. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know why I put her on here. I think I looked up iconic grandmas, and she was on the list as one of the coolest grandmas of all time. I don't even really like Moana the movie. I think it's kind of dumb. Actually, no. I take that back. I take that back immensely. Because it has Jermaine Clement in it. And I love the crab, Tamatoa. If this was a Tamatoa tier list, he would be A. But he would also be the only person on the list. She's only in the movie for like 10 minutes. How could she be an S tier grandma? She's barely in the movie, and all she does is she says some supportive words to her granddaughter and then dies. And turns into a stingray? She does turn into a stingray. I'm putting her in A. Also, she's wearing, look, okay, hear me out. I know you guys might love the Moana grandma. She is a queen. She does turn into a stingray, blah, 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 blah. But she's also wearing the same fit as Jamie Lee Curtis. So I just think she's like they're a good match. Like, I think they could trade clothes. You have to put them together so they can appreciate each other. I think they might get along, and they might even start a relationship. This woman is known as Nazi Grandma. Nazi Grandma. Her name is Ursula Haverbeck. You ever heard a more evil name? She's dead now. She was a German neo-Nazi activist. Nazi denier. Or not Nazi denier. I'm a Nazi denier. I hate them. No, she was a Holocaust denier. It's one of those things, to be a neo-Nazi and a Holocaust denier is a strange combination to me. You deny the Holocaust, but you are a Nazi? You should be like, we did it. We did it, guys. We take credit. I'm a quarter Jewish, by the way. She was old enough to have been alive for the Holocaust. Wait, maybe she had a point. No, she was. She was 20 years, she was like 15 years old. Girl, you were there. No, you're totally right. 1928, she was born. She was like 8 when it was like starting. And then she was like 18 by the time it ended. Does she know something we don't? No, she's an F tier. This should say something to you about how much I hate Emily Gilmore and Hank Hill's mom, in that I put them in the same boat as a serial killer and a Holocaust denier. All right, next up we have Rosie O'Donnell. What do I know about Rosie O'Donnell? Not much. Where's Rosie O'Donnell? She's just a line on my screen. Come back, Rosie. There you are. I don't know what is happening. She's fighting me. Do people not like Rosie O'Donnell? Is she, she's controversial for some reason, isn't she? I don't know why. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. I didn't even know she was a grandma. Being that I know almost nothing about her, I'm going to make the bold statement that she gets too much hate. She was awesome in Curb Your Enthusiasm. She was hilarious in Curb Your Enthusiasm, and that's all that I actually do know about her. She's not dressed like the other women in A tier, which does bump them up for me. She's going to go in B tier with the murderer and the racist. Now we got a great one. This is the exact opposite of Rosie O'Donnell. Skyrim Grandma, Shirley Curry. She quit playing and said Bethesda sucks. Yeah, she's right. Shirley Curry, if like that's an S tier grandma right there. Skyrim gamer. And like as Bethesda continued to get worse, she jumped ship. She's the most goated grandma of all time. Of course, Shirley Curry's on the list, and of course, she's S tier. We don't got to talk about her anymore. I want to keep talking about her because she's so amazing, but we have to move on. This is SpongeBob's grandma. I feel conflicted about SpongeBob's grandma. Now we're going to reveal more of my personality here. I feel conflicted about her. When I was a young lad, I was once kissed by an older woman. And when I say that, I mean, I was like probably 5 years old. And some lady at church kissed me. Pretty much, well, she kissed me on the cheek, actually. But very similar to the SpongeBob episode where he gets kissed on the forehead. She kissed me on the cheek, and she left a lipstick mark, again, like SpongeBob, on there. And then I went to my friend's house after, and they laughed at me. Him and his parents laughed at me. Now, I don't think they were laughing at me, you know? I think they were like, that's funny that you have a lipstick mark on your cheek, which it was. But I've lived this episode of SpongeBob. And then when I saw the episode of SpongeBob as a kid, I resented her. I always hated that lady after that. And I resented this woman for that. She didn't do it to me, but she did do it to SpongeBob. And I thought, you should know. You know, he's a young lad. He faces a lot of pressure at work. He's bullied by his coworkers. He's at a dead-end job. And you're going to add to that stress by putting a big, fat lipstick mark right on his forehead? You know this about him. If you cared about him, you would go wipe your face off first. This is how I feel. However, as I've gotten older, I've realized everyone is wrong. In the episode where everyone made fun of SpongeBob, that episode ended with him coming to the realization that it was good to be kissed by your grandma. And I realized that my resentment was not placed in the right spot. I should not have resented the lady who kissed me on the cheek. She was presenting affection, but I held resentment against her. I should be resenting my friends. Here's a little lesson for you. If your friends ever do something wrong, you should have resentment for them. And never forget it. And always hold it against them. Just like SpongeBob should have held it against his coworkers and the people in his town instead of pushing away his grandma who he loved oh so dearly. All of that to say, I don't know, she's like A tier. Now I know we already discussed that A tier grandmas wear a low cut top. And this is obviously not the case for this grandma. However, she can't be S tier because of those glasses. And but I do need to give her some credit. Plus, I would like to see her in the low-cut top. So maybe by putting her in here, the Nickelodeon animators, if they see this one day, will put her in something like that for me. Okay. The Queen. Queen Elizabeth. I have one thing to say about the Queen, and that is another video. She's British. That's true. Let's take a look. Have you guys seen this one? This is the Queen cutting her own birthday cake.
Yes. That's very much a
Yeah. Hey, yeah, you know, she's the political figurehead of one of the largest countries in the world. Why don't you explain to her how to cut a cake?
I think I might just put a
Well, see, and then here's the thing. Look at what she's doing.
knife in it.
I think that's a really good idea.
I'm going to put the knife in it.
See if it works. Oh, yes, it goes in beautifully.
Oh, beautifully. Beautifully.
Somebody else can
Finish it off.
do the rest of it.
Well, what are we talking about? The other lady, I didn't know that she was guiding her through this because the queen was totally incompetent. It's not that hard to cut. It's a cake. You stick the knife in, you put it down. We don't need to talk about it at all. This did not need to be a video. You might be thinking, oh, come on, it's fine. She's an old lady. She's 70 years old. My dad is almost 70 years old. 20 seconds, he could have had that whole cake cut, plated, served, and he could have been juggling one of the slices, okay? She did serve in her military as a medic during the war. Sure, did you see how she handled that knife? What was she going to do when she had to cut some bandages in the war, huh? She would cut one slice and go, I think I'll let someone else do the rest. I did it beautifully. I take issue with the concept of the royal family just because I don't like rich people or British people, which are a huge, like almost all the royal family falls into that category. She'll make friends with Rosie O'Donnell and B tier. I'll be honest, I did a lot of talking there. I don't care about her almost at all. I'm just trying to rile up the people. Rich person says he doesn't like rich people. Jew hates rich people. Holy. Well, Twitch chat turned against me. What are we talking about, guys? I'm not rich. You go on a cruise one time and everyone thinks you're rich. Okay, fine. 3 times. And I'm only a quarter Jewish, which would make me only a quarter rich. All right, next up is tree trunks. Now, we're going to take just one step back. She's not a grandma. She is on this. I did put her on this list. She is not a grandma. She is the mother to, I believe, hundreds of aliens.
My babies.
I don't think she ever has a grandchild. She does sleep around a lot, like an exorbitant amount. She is sleeping around with multiple animals and aliens. Her first appearance on the show, she tries to seduce a tentacle monster.
Huh? What are you doing here, Tree Trunks?
I'm helping you by tempting this guy with my body.
She puts lipstick on and eyeshadow, and she does a sexy dance for a tentacle monster in front of a 10-year-old boy. Oh, but she's so cute. You know who else thought that was cute? A guy you might know by the name of Jeffrey. The first time I saw her, I didn't like her because of that. I grew to like her as the show went on. Then, the way she treated everyone, I was kind of not okay with. But then, looking back on her, I actually kind of think of her fondly. It's one of those things where, like, your entire life, you're against this person. And then when you look back, you go, but without her, I'm nothing. And I think she's going to end up in A tier because of that. And this even extends further. Again, you got to look at who's in A tier. The horniest grandmas. You got Jamie Lee Curtis in a low-cut top. You got Moana's grandma, whatever her name is. Now, I don't think she's very horny, but she is in a low-cut top. And you have SpongeBob's grandma who was kissing a bunch of people. Like, I think all I'm saying is that the A tier right now, this is a group of women that I would love to play Mahjong with. That's it. That's all. Okay? We move on. Martha Stewart. She was in prison for a year, and then the moment she got out, she ran the Martha Stewart show. They gave her a TV show right out of prison? What a queen. Wait a second, I love Martha Stewart. Stewart became the oldest woman to appear on the cover of a Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazine. Okay, prove it. One sec, guys, I'm doing some research. Whoa! Holy! Wait, it's not on screen. No, it is on screen. It's this one right here. Wow. 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 Whew. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm back. Martha, you dirty dog. There's a reason she's an S tier, baby. Honestly, she belongs up here with Sofia Vergara. I mean, Gloria. That's it. That's our tier list.